Welcome to the Cooking Chat Food and Wine Podcast. Cooking Chat focuses on tasty recipes that get better with wine. On the podcast, we explore ideas for cooking with seasonal ingredients and wines to pair with them. You'll meet producers involved with the local food system, winemakers, and more. Today, I'm joined by Daniel and Ben from Titin EVOO. Titin is a family-owned extra virgin olive oil brand from Boston. Daniel is the Spanish olive oil company's founder, and Ben was the first hire for the U.S. company. Okay, well, let's first of all have you two gentlemen introduce yourselves for posterity here.
Hi,
First and
David.
last.
Thank you very much for your time today. My name is Daniel, and I am the owner and the founder of Titin Olive Oil. Titin was the nickname of my great grandmother, who started an olive oil business more than 100 years ago in the south of Spain. And I came to the United States to do an MBA. And during the MBA, I wanted to purchase olive oil, and it was difficult to find an olive oil from a trusted source and at a fair price. And because of that, I decided to develop this brand. Our mission is to sell the best olive oil in the United States at the best price.
That's great. Well, that's a big mission. And when was so how long ago was that you started?
I finished my MBA in May 2024,
Yep.
and I spent 1 year to develop all the legal papers, the FDA papers, the companies in
Mhm.
Spain and in the States, the finance, the logistic. And we launched 6 months ago, 11 of May, 5th of May, in Boston.
Excellent. So that was MBA, like any classes, I'm sure, they teach you a lot to teach you everything you knew to get the business going, or was it mostly learning by doing, or a little bit of both?
I think you learn more by doing than in classes. However, I went to Babson College, that is very famous because of entrepreneurship around the world.
Hmm.
So they teach me a lot about the cash flows, the business models, the American culture also to make business. No, it's
Yeah.
totally different from Europe. I'm from Spain, and business is different in Europe than in the States. So
Yep.
it's a mix, but I think that with all the things you learn more when you develop the project, not just
Right.
the idea.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. And I know, like you said, Babson does have a great reputation for entrepreneurship, so it's probably a little more practically oriented than maybe, my undergraduate philosophy courses. No offense to my philosophy professor, very interesting, but it might not help sell olive oil too much. But very good. Yeah, good, good. Nothing like
Well,
learning by doing.
but I have to say that when you are an undergrad and you study philosophy, that's
Hmm.
amazing because you have a strong basic of values, of ethics, of
Right.
the story of the world, the ancient world,
Yeah.
and then
Hmm.
you can do a master, an MBA, or another type of master to be more specific. So
Yeah.
it's not never how you say, it's not never late,
Yeah.
basically.
Right. Right, right, right. That's a good way to put it. Ben, how about you? How did you get involved in this company?
Thanks, David. Yeah, so I started working in risk management out of college, and that was my career for the first 3 years. Long story short, I kind of fell into startup food and beverage, and I was kind of had a mentor, another founder of another brand, and was working with her to learn about her company. And at one of the trade shows that she invited me to, I saw this booth that had a very passionate Spanish man talking about his new product, and it was a really like cool packaging. It was like this little bottle,
Oh
um,
yeah, there it is.
and yeah, he was very very passionate about how he was bringing really good olive oil to the U.S. and he was giving out samples. So he put a little bit on some bread, and I was already kind of intrigued because the color of the olive oil was green. So
Hmm.
I thought that was interesting, and I tried it. I was blown away because it was not like anything I've had as an American. So I reached out, and that was Danny. I reached out to Danny and started to learn about his business, and things progressed, and I eventually got involved and started a full-time role as the head of operations around 2 months ago.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I can get your enthusiasm for the product, and we'll be talking more about it. Yeah, so I guess that kind of sets us up for the next thing I wanted to talk about. Danny, maybe we'll let you start to tell us a little bit more about your product and what makes it unique and sort of differentiated from other olive oil on the market. I know these days when you go into the grocery store, there are a lot of choices there, and I must confess, I am not an expert. I do enjoy and use olive oil a lot, but I'm really eager for this conversation. I feel like I'm going to be more knowledgeable when we're through. So, what is different about your olive oil, Danny?
Well, first of all, no worries to be an expert, because I have a lot of Spanish friends that they are not expert at all in olive oil. They think that olive oil is always the same, and it's totally false. You have different qualities of olive oil, like extra virgin, virgin olive oil, pure olive oil pomace, and the healthiest one is extra virgin olive oil. So we only import extra virgin olive oil, and then in extra virgin olive oil you have to be selective, because it's not the
Hmm.
same. It's not the same olive oil from the first month of the harvest, like in Spain is November, than the olive oil from February. Why?
Mm.
Because the November one, you can use it for everything, even for cooking and for dressing. And the taste is so good, it's not rancid. If you use olive oil from February, it's impossible to have it raw. It will make you cough. It's very rancid, the oil. No? So
Mm.
normally companies blend November, December with January, February in order to get a neutral taste.
Mm.
And it's not the same November in terms of health standards and taste than February. So because of that, we import first harvest, first month of the harvest in November 20. Well, in this case, it's November 2024. Now is the harvesting in November 2025, the new one. No? And
Okay.
also, we have the early harvest. This is most special because it's 1 month or two
Mm.
months prior to the normal harvest. That depends on the variety and also on the weather. It's not the
Mm.
same when it's raining. That it is not raining at all. You have to wait. So the early harvest is extremely special. It's only for finishing your dishes, not for cooking.
Hmm.
And of course, they have more polyphenols. In the case of Picual, the most famous variety in Spain, olive
Hmm.
variety, and the taste is another planet, another world, basically.
Yeah.
So that's are the both. I don't know if Ben, do you want to add something?
No, the reason I laughed was because the finishing piqual that he mentioned, it's one of our most popular
Hmm.
SKUs, as they're called. It's this green one. That's the
Yep.
one I tried when I first met Danny, and I
Yeah.
was I was blown away by that. I mean, people usually are. They can immediately tell the difference between
Hmm.
the regular harvest piqual and the early harvest piqual, which is only
Yep.
a month apart in harvest date.
Great. Okay, and I look forward to we're going to taste them a little bit to see the difference. But I do want to ask a few follow-up questions just to clarify. So the typical harvest in November, what actually happens between like, is it that the February you're referring to are those olives that are picked later, or everything's picked in November? And what's the going on between November and February? Is it just because it's like sitting around that it loses the quality?
That's an excellent question. So I will tell you. Okay, yeah, I will go from September, October, November to
Yeah,
February. Okay,
yeah.
there are some olives that are mature sooner than
Hmm.
later. In this
Sure.
case, you can see them if it's early harvest. No, normally those olives are from olive groves which have water. Okay,
Hmm.
so that olives, the rendiment, you can take only 8-9% of that olive. So from an olive of early
Hmm.
harvest, only 8-9% of the olive is
Hmm.
olive oil. Okay,
Oh, okay.
that is too little. Okay, because of
Hmm.
that is the,
Right.
the uniqueness of the product. Then in November, you have more olives, also from water olive groves that you can pick up, pick the
Hmm.
olives, and the
Yeah.
rendiment maybe increase 10 to 13%, 10 to 14%. It depends on the year. It depends if it's rained a lot during the year, or if it's not, if it's very dry, you know. And then you have the rest olives that don't they don't have water. These olives are from olive groves that don't have water. Okay, so you can pick them up in December, January, wherever you want, and the rendement will be even bigger, like 15, 20%, because it passed more time. But the taste is not very good. It's not good. It's not good at all, to be honest. It's very rancid. So it's almost impossible to have it raw. It will make you cough. However, with more rendement, with more percentage, more money, because more olive oil, you know.
Okay. Yep.
So a lot of companies stop the harvesting in November in order to maybe start another harvest in the end of December, January, to get more oil. Because of that, the importance to know the exactly month of the harvest. The first harvest is not the same when you see a label that say harvest 24-25. Okay, it's not okay, but which month?
Yeah.
No one says that, you know, and that's important also, the month, no, regarding taste.
Yeah, it's very I could see why that make a big difference. And I noticed that folks aren't going to be able to see it here, and I have my olive oil, but I did notice the specific month on the bottle, and so that doesn't seem like that's probably not very common among other olive oils.
And also we have a full traceability code that is a EGP stamp from a third party company who audits the process and say that this olive oil comes from Jaén. Jaén produces 30% of the olive oil in the world. Is in the south of Spain, in Andalusia, above Granada. In Granada is where the Alhambra is. I mention this because a lot of people not know where the Alhambra is, so it's easy for them to see in their mind where Jaén is. And with that code, with that full traceability code that you see in the bottle, I can tell you exactly where this olive oil comes from. That basically comes from my family groves and from my business partner groves, and also from 600 small farmers who apport their production into a factory. So it's not only single origin, it's single vendor. That's also an important thing, because a lot of people say single origin, but maybe they are purchasing from 100 different vendors, you know. So this is one step more, single vendor. And this olive oil is so good because the land is a mix that has been for hundreds of thousands of years of mountains and valleys. Okay, so mix the minerals of both geologic land, and because of that, the taste is amazing.
Yeah. So as I think I mentioned to you guys before we hit record, I'm definitely fairly knowledgeable about wine. It seems like a lot of the things you're talking about are essentially terroir kind of concepts that seem to apply here. I don't know if either of you want to elaborate on that or the way, and maybe describe a little. You mentioned the soil and give a little bit more about the weather conditions that make for growing quality olives that turn into your olive oil.
Ben, do you want to jump in the question, or?
No, I think you would know more about this, honestly, about kind of the conditions of the harvest and the weather, how that impacts
the climate.
quality.
Yeah.
So the reality is, like, when it's very important, water in olive oil, okay, in olive groves. If rains a lot, it's also bad, okay, because it can kill the harvest. The frozen also, when it's very, very cold and maybe it's frozen, also can kill the harvest. So, but the good thing of Jaén is, like, it's in a specific place. It's like, I think it's 1,000 meters above the sea, the sea level. So it's very difficult to find a frozen season or a heavy rain. So for that part, we are safe. Okay. Regarding the water is the difficult part, because Jaén is one of the hottest, the hottest part of Spain. So sometimes we have dry seasons, and because of that, like 2-3 years ago, the harvest prices were extremely up, because it weren't enough production enough demand enough offer for all the demand that the world requires. You need to know that Spain produces 52% of the olive oil from the entire world.
Wow.
So yes, it's kind of like a small country.
Yeah.
Produce half of all the olive oil in the world, no? So
Wow.
it's very important the weather for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Great. And I think maybe I know I'm curious to try this olive oil that's before me, but maybe before we do, maybe set it up a little by talking a little bit about like what differentiates, not only in taste, but I guess like what I think you said a little bit before, but maybe recap like what's the difference between olive oil you're going to cook with versus one you're only going to finish, because I know those are the two offerings that we'll be trying here today.
Okay, so well, if you are an olive oil lover,
Yeah.
like Ben and I are, you will cook with the yellow one, and you will use the green one, the finishing one, for dressing all your dishes, because it will give you a lot of flavor to the food, no?
Yep.
However, we explain to everyone that if you use olive oil, maybe not too much like American people, because American people, the statistics is 1.4 gallons per year per household. That is almost nothing. In Spain, we consume 1 liter per person per month.
Per
So
month. Wow.
it's a different way of cooking, basically,
Yeah.
and of having food. So we recommend to use the yellow one for everything. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's from November. So
Yeah.
because it's from November, the taste is also very good.
Mm-hmm.
If it's from February, I will tell you, just cook with the February one and use
Yeah.
the green one for finishing. But because
Mm-hmm.
the yellow one is from November, you can use it also raw. So
Mm-hmm.
it's for everything. We call
Yep.
it universal, because
Yeah.
you can use it for everything. No?
Yeah.
And
So
Yeah.
I'll
Go
add
ahead,
that.
Ben.
So even the universal one, we entered both of these into the big olive oil competition in the US. It's called the USI olive oil competition. And 2025, this one won the bronze and the finishing won the silver.
Oh,
So it
awesome.
is like, it's more neutral than the finishing that has more flavor, but it's still award-winning in taste. So you can use it for both.
That's great. And it's still like it still has that that's one thing actually we didn't 100% cover. So even though it's this category of everyday or universal, it's still considered extra virgin. What does distinguish extra virgin versus something that doesn't get that label?
of course, it's extra virgin. Both are extra virgin. Extra virgin means like the first is a first cold pressed, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and also the olives cannot touch the land, okay.
Oh, okay.
When our people do the harvest with a
Mm-hmm.
stick like this,
Mm-hmm.
there is nets in the
Yep.
floor, in the land.
Mm-hmm.
So the olive
Ah.
never touch the land,
Ah.
because when the olive touch the ground, the acidity level increase a lot. So it's very difficult to get the extra virgin olive oil from those olives.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's basically it's acidity. Okay, extra virgin olive oil is like the
Mm-hmm.
cleanest one. Then you have virgin olive oil with more acidity, olive oil with another increased acidity, like an olive oil pomace. And some people say olive oil pomace with extra virgin olive oil, but which percentage of that is extra
Mm-hmm.
virgin olive oil?
Mm-hmm.
It's 1%, so it's nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
so it's very important to read the labels to
Mm-hmm.
understand. For example, another thing here is pure olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know anything about olive oil
Mm-hmm.
and you see pure olive oil, you think, oh, this olive oil is going to be amazing. It's pure.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's false. It's refined.
Oh.
It's refined oil.
Oh, okay.
So you need to really read the label, see which where the olive oil is come, if it's single origin or not.
Yeah.
And this thing of single origin, uh, you can have a wine that sorry, single variety. You can have a
Mm-hmm.
wine that is mixed, with
Sure.
Cabernet
Yeah.
Sauvignon, with another
Yeah.
variety. So
Yeah.
and it's an amazing wine, also with olive oil. Maybe it's a couple of varieties and has a specific flavor that is excellent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so single variety, but single origin, harvest dates,
Mm-hmm.
And also someone who audit all the process, like a third party company who audit
Yeah.
the process, like EGP, and single
Mm-hmm.
vendor. That's the most important thing. No, I don't know, Ben, if
Yeah.
you if I miss any points.
No, I agree. I would just like the way I think about it with the single variety, from my understanding, is it's more of just like a proxy for knowing that it comes from usually a single source, so single
Mm-hmm.
premise. But in theory, if you have the harvest date, if you have the actual traceability of where the olives came from, and it's good quality olive oil, you can mix varieties, like Danny was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, great. What and in the variety of olive oil of olives though is Picual, am I saying that right? That's the type of olive. Okay, great. Excellent.
The
But let
the yes,
cool.
the Picual variety is the most famous variety in Spain.
Okay.
It
Gotcha.
has
Okay.
also the most taste.
Mm-hmm.
And in Spain, it has also it's the healthiest one. It has the
Mm-hmm.
highest polyphenols. Like
Yep.
our olive oil has the finishing one has, I think, like 503 polyphenols milligram per kilo, and the
Mm-hmm.
universal one has 480 or something similar. It's in the
Yeah.
website.
Great.
And there is huge,
Mm-hmm.
but we have other varieties. We have, for example, a variety that is called Arbosana, that it's from Catalonia, from the north of
Mm-hmm.
Spain, that we took that variety and grown it in the south of Spain, in Jaén.
Mm-hmm.
We have all, this is a variety that has a low taste. If you don't like strong tastes, then
Mm-hmm.
we have another variety that is Frantoio, that is from Tuscany, Italy, that we grow also in the south of Spain.
Yeah.
And we work only with those varieties. There is another varieties like Arbequina that is very
Mm-hmm.
neutral, Hojiblanca
Yeah.
that is also
Okay.
very neutral. But I don't like those varieties. A lot of people like them, but we don't. So we prefer to focus on these three varieties: no,
Yeah.
Arbosana, Picual, and Frantoio.
Okay.
And
That makes
when we do live demos and samplings at stores and other events, it seems like most people really, really like the Piqual when they try different ones, like
yeah.
the lighter
Yeah.
one Danny mentioned. It's just so different from what you find in the supermarket.
Yeah. Great. Well, we've been talking about we should taste what we have here. Huh? I didn't figure people needed to watch me pour and figure out how to open these bottles, but it is a nice lightweight bottle with the material you used, and I've got a little sample poured of the universal oil. We'll try that first. Curious to try it.
Yes.
And I didn't bring bread. I'm going straight for getting it getting it straight. I just noticed upon opening the bottles just the rich aroma that both seem to have. So, mm, to like a freshness, it seems like. I don't know. I'm sure there are more appropriate tasting terms, but mm, it's very smooth. Kind of like coats. I get a little kick on the back though, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
Back of the
signature
palate.
like peppery kick of the Piqual olive.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a little sip of water before we try that. Now that's got a lot of flavor for every day. Now I'm gonna see, like, did I mix up the pour? I don't think so, though. I think I did this right. Mm. Because I do remember when I met, I haven't said this, I met Ben and Danny at an event, Authors and Innovators event, fun event in Boston every year in October. And I forget how many you had some others, maybe one of the other types that you were sampling too, but I recall liking everything, but that a couple of them really stood out. Yeah.
The
All right.
Picual one is
Mm-hmm.
the most famous.
Mm. Mm. Can you tell as experts, like just from the nose, which is which, or do you have to take like if you blind if you were
I, I think that the harvest, the smell
mm-hmm,
is more floral, And in
mm-hmm.
the Picual, right now you are feeling a boost of taste, but it's smoother than the other one, the finishing one, I
Oh
mean.
yeah.
You
Mm.
see?
Yeah, it's got that nice delicate but very robust flavor. The pepperiness really on both of them really, and you say that's characteristic of this grape in particular. I mean, it's grape, excuse me, this olive.
It's okay, no worries. Yes, I
Yes,
think that the pepper is the most famous characteristic of picual. You know,
yeah.
picual in Spanish is a word similar to picar. Picar is spices
Oh, okay.
you know,
Yeah.
so it's correlated.
Okay. Very
Actually,
good.
I have a funny story about that. When I was doing a sampling at one of the stores we sell at, there was a woman who tried it for the first time, and she would not believe that it was just olive oil. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
kept asking me, what's in this? Is there some kind of pepper in this? And I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
it's just extra virgin. It has that taste. And she
Yeah.
was like, I want to see the back of the bottle. It has something in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, so I could see that. It does definitely taste like peppery. And I don't know if you know offhand, I'm trying to think well, you said maybe it's the type of olive. I'm curious about if you know what olives they use in Italy. I'm kind of picturing being at Italian restaurants and kind of dipping bread in olive oil. It tastes okay, but definitely not this level of flavor at all. And
I'm not completely sure if this grape, if this olive, sorry, not grape, if this olive is from Greece. It's called Koronaki. I think it's
hmm
from Greece. I'm not sure, but I know that there is a specific olive in Italy that is
hmm
similar, the taste to the Picual one.
hmm
Okay, and I cannot recall now the name.
Yep.
Um, so well, I
Yeah.
should the Frantoio one, for example, is from
hmm
Italy, you know,
Yeah.
and they have another variety near how do you say Genève, near Genève.
Yep.
Okay, that is also very good, but very, very, very limited because it's
hmm
only in that part of Italy.
Yep.
Um, and that's it. To be honest, I don't have too much information about
Yeah.
Italian olive oil, but I have to say one thing: they are experts in marketing, you know, because
Yeah.
everybody thinks that
Mhm.
Italy is the first producer country of olive oil in the world.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
is not correct. That's fake
Yeah.
news, basically.
Fake news. There you go. Yeah, so I'd like to hear from both of you. You mentioned Danny, how it's used much more in Spanish households and cooking and so forth. What are some favorite ways of some dishes you like to prepare, cook, if you have time as an entrepreneur to actually cook for yourself with this olive oil? Hopefully you do occasionally. Any favorites for on the cooking side? Obviously, I know you'd be going for the yellow bottle, right, for the cooking?
Yes, well, I have to say that before I made this company, I was a lawyer, a
Mm-hmm.
finance lawyer, and I never thought that I will be as involved in the food industry, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and really I love now to go to restaurants, meet the chefs. They explain me how they cook, the different cultures, how they use
Yeah.
olive oil, and I am getting more involved, more involved, more involved. So yes, I am an entrepreneur, but I am loving to cook something that I didn't do it before because
Mm-hmm.
of my
Yeah.
work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I cook, of course, everything with extra virgin olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
of course, universal Titin, and I use that olive oil for everything. For example, French fries. I
Oh,
use a lot of
yeah.
olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish omelette, that is with
Mm.
potatoes, eggs,
Yep.
and olive oil. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to do a chicken in the pan, also I put a bit of olive oil and the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
So olive oil in the Mediterranean diet is the cornerstone of every
Mm-hmm.
dish. Okay,
Right.
we
Right.
there in Spain we don't use like a lot of sauces like here the US people use.
Mm-hmm.
We use olive oil, we use vinegar uh, for cooking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, well, if it's other kind of food, yes, you can put some species or something like that, but not sauces. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the olive oil is like the pillar, the cement of
Mm-hmm.
the dish. And
Yeah.
the finishing one, well, for example, in the morning, my breakfast is a toast with avocado, some tomato, smoked turkey, and I put a finishing olive oil above.
That sounds
And
very tasty and healthy
oh,
too, huh? Yeah.
it's amazing. The flavor. It's boom.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that my favorite is the finishing picual.
Mm-hmm.
I try to use, like, when I finish one bottle of picual, I use Arbosana, and then I use Frantoio,
Mm-hmm.
but always the picual one is the best for me. And
Yeah.
it really re-enhance your food. You can
Mm-hmm.
have bread with olive oil and it's amazing. You don't need
Yeah.
to put another thing.
Mm. Yeah. You can tell your passion's coming through on it, and you can see it. And that's what I mean, great food, really. I mean, we talk about good chefs, the passion comes through on the dish, and I think that's true of a product like olive oil too. And I think, part of this conversation, I think, is giving me and hopefully some of the listeners a greater appreciation for, what it means to, start with great ingredients, right? Any good chef will tell you that, right? And you're talking about, in the US, maybe use more sauces. I mean, excellent food, the best, some of the best chefs, you want to let the good ingredients shine. And so you don't want to do too much, probably, I would think. And it sounds like maybe that's a little bit this approach that maybe is a little more common in Spain from what I'm hearing.
Hmm. I don't know,
Ben?
Ben, do you use olive oil or not?
Of course, man. Although I don't know if I'm as sophisticated as Danny. I'm a young American guy, but I cooked most of my stuff with olive oil. Now I cook everything with Titin, with the Universal.
Yeah.
So I eat a lot of eggs, a lot of fried eggs. But with the finishing, I use it every time I make pasta. I drizzle it on top just because it has so
Hmm.
much flavor. Like, instead of
Yeah.
using a sauce, like Danny said.
Hmm.
Um, this is simple, but just like toast in the morning, it can really transform just a piece of bread.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so I add it to like everything. I'm always kind of experimenting, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well,
yeah.
part of what I plan to do, as I think I mentioned, is I'll think about, I mean, I'll probably start using it too, but I'll be sure regularly, but I'll be sure to think of a few recipes, either new ones I'm making or maybe remake some old favorites that I can showcase on Cooking Chat that, are, where the olive oil I think could really shine. I have a few ideas, but I'll have to think about that. That would be fun. And certainly I think, it might be good to try. I don't know what's common in, I'm certainly thinking maybe a little simple salad dressing. Certainly one idea for I assume I would want to use the finishing one for that. In Spain, would you use, I know I often use balsamic vinegars. Is the sherry vinegar or something else more common to use along with this olive oil? Anything you'd recommend?
Yes, in Spain we use well, but we start the conversation talking about the experts of olive oil.
Yeah.
In Spain, my friends, they don't know about the finishing. I have to
Oh,
explain them, like, hey, this
oh.
is early harvest. You can use this oil for your salads and it will be better than if you've used it with the other oils. And they are
Hmm.
rediscovering also the olive oil. So I was kind of surprised about that. And regarding your last question, about the how to do a salad dressing,
Hmm.
in Spain we use vinagre de Jerez, probably the sherry vinegar that you have said now.
Hmm.
I don't know
Yep.
if the translation is the same, but
Okay.
it's called vinagre de Jerez. And a lot of chefs are asking me, Danny, please, could you start import a good vinagre of Jerez?
Oh,
Because
okay.
we don't find it. We don't find it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. I didn't find one, to be honest.
Hmm.
I use one Italian balsamic
Oh,
vinegar.
yeah,
That I have
yeah.
one Italian friend who gave it to me.
Hmm.
And so yes, we use like I use the finishing oil for
Hmm.
salads,
Yep.
and also a bit of vinegar.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it, and salt. Salt. This
Yeah.
is my three condiments that I use for my salads.
Yeah. Keep it simple, huh? Like that.
Yes, you don't need, when you have good food,
Hmm.
like a good lettuce, a good tomato, a
Yeah.
good onion. You don't need olive oil, vinegar, and salt. The
Hmm.
taste the taste explodes in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
The key is the raw materials and a
Right.
good olive oil.
Yeah. It's a good combo. I'm excited about getting going on it for sure. Well, hopefully we have tempted and interested some folks in wanting to check it out. So, Ben, I think you're going to tell us a little bit more about how people can get their hands on one or both of these. And
Yeah.
I know you delivered it to me in a nice little set. A set looked like something that would make a nice holiday gift with Christmas and
Yes.
other winter holidays coming up. People looking for gifts for foodies in their lives could be good timing.
Yeah, we have cute little new boxes for if you get the universal and finishing duo.
Hmm.
So that's the little cardboard box you saw. Um, so it depends on where folks are located. Right now, we're based in Boston, and we sell in a lot of retail stores and independent grocery stores in the Boston area.
Yeah.
But we're also expanding in the East Coast quite a bit right now, taking on some new distributors, up north in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont area, Rhode Island as well. So we're going to be available in more stores soon, and we sell online. So you could go to our website or on Amazon. We're starting to do Amazon
Okay.
FBA, so we're going to offer Prime shipping for the Universal first to start. So that
Great.
should be available soon.
Excellent. So so I gather then that people can order and have it shipped anywhere in the US
Anywhere
based
in
on
the
that?
U.S., yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So you're if they want to get directly and learn more on your website is what's the address?
It's Titin, Titin EVOO for extra virgin olive oil
Oh, very
.com.
nice.
Yeah, titinevo.com.
Very good. All right, great. Yeah, so I would definitely encourage people to check it out. And like you said, like Ben said, if you're in the Boston area, probably a decent number of our listeners are. You can probably find it in a shop. Is there anything on your website that gives a list
Yeah,
of
yeah.
shops
There's
where it's
actually,
available?
I was going to
Perfect.
say, we have a store locator. If you go to the bottom of the website, you could
Perfect.
find,
Okay.
yeah, most of the stores in Boston right now we have up there.
Nice. Anything before we wrap, anything else you'd like to share that I didn't ask, or maybe you could emphasize something you already said, just as a little parting words.
I had one recipe that I just remembered, a fun one,
Okay, let's hear it.
which is that my girlfriend and we made an ice cream using Titin, the Frantoio variety.
Ice
So it's
cream.
vanilla and olive oil, and it was actually so good. Danny tried it as
Wow.
well, but um, we did a little recording of the recipe on our Instagram, so you could find it there. But that one was
Oh,
really,
cool.
yeah,
Oh, that sounds good. Interesting. I
Yes,
wouldn't have thought of all.
it was amazing that ice cream, really.
yeah.
Mm. I,
I I
Ben
I,
has
I would like
oh, go
yes.
ahead. I was just going
No,
to say Ben has really drunk the Kool-Aid, as we say, if he's if he's actually
I
putting
know.
olive oil
Yeah,
in his ice cream now. So,
yeah.
so Danny, I'll give you the final words. I think you had something you want to say.
thank you, David. I would like to finish saying that this Titin was my great grandmother Matilde, no, who started the business in Spain. But it was not only her. After her, it was my grandmother
Hmm.
Matilde, also Titin, and now is my mother Matilde, also Titin, no, who managed the growth of my great grandmother. No, so
Hmm.
it's a very it's a beautiful story because
Hmm.
it's a story of three women
Hmm. Hmm.
a long time ago, and now me and Ben also trying to put their legacy into the United States. No, and I think it's also a good thing to mention.
Yeah, that's great. It's nice to hear the story behind the product. I think, we make choices, where, every day when we're going in to buy, whether it's food and other things, and when we can support a business that's, focused on quality, but also has, it's, real people, a family with a story, that's always good. And we love to lift that up here on Cooking Chat. So appreciate both of you guys taking time out of your busy days to share about the company. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Cook Local, Eat Local. To get the show notes with links for recipes and resources we covered today, go to cooklocaleatlocal.com to get the podcast landing page. And please be sure to subscribe to Cook Local, Eat Local wherever you get your podcasts. Make it a great day with some tasty local food on your plate.